This sad rain vibes. Okay, so it's really like, I tried to film this like 3 times, so I'm glad the rain's calmed down. But now that it started, I can kind of go back in my, I don't want it, whatever. I'm just gonna film in the car at this point. Anyway, so I wanted to so today was a weird day because I had a conversation with my mom, my adopted mom, but by all accords, I guess it went well. She told me some stuff that like I never thought she'd ever tell me. Both good and like story like she told me a part of her life that I did not know about, which would have explained a lot. Not that it would have excused, but it would have explained a bit more on some things. Sorry for doing that in the video. That's really gross. But it was informative in like figuring out the person she was. So for those of you who don't know, everybody really, but for those of you who don't know, my childhood was not the best in terms of, also if my lips look weird, it's because I drank like 6 slushies in today's tops. But oh, he's cute. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Ooh, thunder. But I didn't have like the best childhood in terms of like emotional. It was very strenuous, to say the least, but I'll get into that one day later, just not right now. Well, maybe, but ideally I just didn't have the best. So because of that, we of course did not have the best relationship, and I don't have the best relationship with both of my parents. But she did like text me a couple days ago and was like, hey, would you be open to like just coming and talking? And I'm like, sure, because it's upside down. It was upside down. I am never the person to not hear one person's story out. I'm just definitely gonna leave if it gets dumb, and that's just the person I am. You know what I mean? Like, I'll hear you out, but the moment you start like blaming everybody else or doing some dumb shit, like, I'll leave. Like, I'm not finished crazy because I'm done. You know what I mean? But and I didn't. In my opinion, I thought that's how the conversation was kind of gonna go because of just history and patterns. Like, I don't trust people all the time, but I do trust your patterns. I will allow you to tell me who you are. You know what I mean? Because like you can never like explain away an action. Like for me, like you can't just be like, well, nope, I saw it. I saw you be that bitch. You know what I mean? Like, can't do that. But I did think she's gonna be a little more selfish, a little more vapid in terms of like putting the blame onto other things and not take accountability for her actions, accountability for herself, because that is just the person I believe that my parents were. My dad's the same thing. And I just, based on patterns and just things I've seen growing up, I just really just assumed that she was just going to kind of be this person to be like, oh, well, you know, it was this and that and then that and this. But I will say I'm actually somewhat proud of her, and I'm really about like, because for her and how I was raised, like, that's a big step for her to actually admit her faults. And I can see where she's growing and healing. I definitely could think that like we could do it a little more ego death, but steps. It took me a little bit too, so I'm not rushing anybody through this process, you know. I will say it was very shocking, like, to hear her. I will say the intro was funny. The intro was good. This is stupid, but like when we started like talking about like some political stuff at first, and I was like, don't let it get too bullshitty. But she let it. I'm not gonna tell you what we're talking about right now, no. But she like started with something political, and then she led it into that, and I was like, that is such a weird transition, but it worked. You know what I mean? So kudos to that. She's always was a talker. And I'm sorry, I'm not doing a but like this right here is the shit, like real talk. But we talked about a couple things. She definitely like kind of explained really good, like what she was going through and how she came. Because my biggest issue was like, how do we fall upon this? Because mind you, it is incredibly close to Mother's Day, right? So I was definitely questioning the validity of the concern for this conversation, falling so close to that kind of day. And I'm not being rude, but I hope she knows she's not getting it. Like, it's still not a thing. You know what I mean? I just also rent. Like, if I'm being completely honest, rent. Which is another conversation in itself, because how does rent, right, side note, how does rent go up? Is anybody confused about this shit too? Like, how upon agreement I agreed to paying this and you telling me that all of a sudden I gotta start paying this? That is crazy. And the government's like, yeah, that's fair. It's like y'all doesn't want America to be broke, I swear. Because y'all, America is trying to take our money and then not even explain to us why. It's just like, it's like when your parents are like, let me hold on to your birthday money. And you'd be like, yeah. And you never really see it again. And you'd be like, I thought I trusted you. You'd be like, I still got it. They'd be like, I still got it. They ain't got it. I'm also trying to talk before this car get hot because it was cool while the water was on. But this sun is coming out very fast all of a sudden. Nature. We love her, but we're confused by her a little bit. But my mom was very forthcoming upon certain things, and there's a lot that I did was upon like certain things we talked about. Like there was a couple like big breakthroughs I never thought she'd actually have. I did explain to her that she has to like start vocalizing what's wrong with her more, and not let it out on the people around her, but also, and this is a PSA to all women. It's my PSA to all women. You know, you have every right to speak in your marriage, and it's not saying like you're oppressed or anything, but like I think a lot of women in like more so women, I think everybody does, but I think more so women do it because I know they're like generally conditioned from birth to do this. But like, you don't have to, please don't let things go in order to say something. It's like, I'm not saying that like press on every issue, but like you shouldn't let things go in the sake of like trying to keep peace all the fucking time, because then everything else that you love will kind of take the fault for it, because you're always going to be pressed about it. You know what I mean? But I did like appreciate the way that like she came about it. She wasn't like aggressive about it, like really like trying to get her point across. I didn't sense this time an ulterior motive, which was new. And I tried. I kind of was like, what you go up to? But it wasn't. She did apologize, you know, to certain things, especially like to the way, especially my teenage years, which was like the worst. But she did apologize to that notion, and I really did appreciate that. The fact that I mean, I went in with a different intention. I didn't go in with this like idea of like this timeline people create. I think a lot of times people create, or I used to create, I'll speak for myself. I used to create a lot of timelines going into certain situations, and then be disappointed by the outcome because it didn't match up with the dream that I intended. But that's not how life works. You have to go in. I went in this time with an open mind of just hearing her out. I didn't know this conversation was going to go good or bad. I didn't care. I just kind of my goal was to hear her out, hear her story, and see what she had to say without judgment or bias. Bias. But I do mean bias. Like, I didn't want her to feel like I was there to like hear her and be like, well, piss off. Like, no. Initially, the outcome of the conversation is simply just, I told her like, this is what I told her verbatim. I'll show everybody like, my friends, exes, this is anybody, any criteria to my life. Anybody wants to be a part of it, have to hold the same criteria. I will love you in my life with unconditional love, and I truly mean that. Whoever you are and whatever place you hold in my life, I do that. If you care about me, then I care about you. if let me rephrase that because that's not entirely true. If you care about me and show me that you are something, to the benefit of my life, then I love you too. Okay. But I told him, I was like, well, we don't have the best of past, but that does not mean we can't have the best of future. I'm not putting energy towards that future unless I can see that the energy is being in the same. And I told her that, like, we need to take our time, because I'm not just adamant about letting people and things back in my life just because you hold a space, or like a space or a place in my life where I did, care fondly about you or care deeply about you. Because that means if I care deeply about you and you're out of my life, that means something went wrong, and that I can't just let you back in just because, we were cool at one point. Like, that would be unfair to me, and that would be crossing my own boundaries that I set up for myself, and I don't want to do that, and I'm not gonna do that. What do I get in the house? That was just terrible, but it's so good though. I was like, and I told her that, like, we can work on it. We just gotta take our time with it, but we can see where it goes. I don't know why, though, I can't, like, get that to my dad, because I'm like, I don't want to, like, because he keeps trying to, like, say, because we have a relationship, that, like, we have to be. I'm like, no, we don't got to be that cordial. And I keep it, like, real PG, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just keep it real, like, Caillou shit. Like, we'll just, hi. But that's it. Like, I won't do this, how you doing, bud? Bitch, we don't have that kind of relationship. I wasn't, that's funny. You know what I mean? My mom talked about that, too. That's pretty bad. I won't say that. But, like, we talked about how, like, this is real fucked up. It's not okay. It's not, but this dynamic kind of happens. It shouldn't happen, but, like, me, my brother, my mom, my dad, we were kind of, like, paired off pretty well. I was the artsy child. He was the sports child. Kind of just made sense, And then my brother kind of, like, left a picture, and my dad was, like, without one. And he's like, you want to go to a football game? I'm sorry. Like, I don't. Wouldn't, like, go to, no. Why we come what? Let me go be in my robe. I was trying to see if the label match, but it doesn't. It's two different blues. One's a green, really. But yeah, I'm glad we were able to have the conversation. I'm glad that we were able to kind of talk through some things. Like I said, we're not, like, kumbaya just yet. I mean, I definitely hugged her, and I told her I love her, because I do love her. But I made her aware that I can love her from afar, and that whatever this is doesn't have to be here, because I have already learned to do without it. It means I already can do without it, and I have no problem being without it. Okay? And besides, right now I'm in a place where I'm kind of busy. I'm too busy to deal with people and family, and that's just the way it is. And a lot of people have been the best to me, so I don't owe them that right to be the best. Not that I'm not gonna be the best, but, like, I owe myself, if anything, to be the best to myself, not to them. You know what I mean? That's like really weird. Like, I can be the best to y'all when I'm good, but, like, right now, I just want to focus on me and my fucking dog. Which I now have to take a picture for the thumbnail. So, she better be ready, because Daddy gonna grab her and abuse her for the photo. Not like that, but, like, you get what I'm saying. Can we appreciate cinematic view on iPhone? It's kind of fun. But yeah, I just kind of want to vent about that. I was gonna make another video. I probably still will today. So, but I wanted to get that out before I got in the house, mostly because of the rain. But yeah. So, I guess that's one part of my life that's, like, getting a lot of healing. So my inner child is happy, but we're still working on it. So, no harm, no foul. But thanks for listening, and I will see y'all next time. I'm gonna try to get my social media kind of aligned with my YouTube stuff, so I can kind of make this all make sense, because if that's kind of like jumble. It's really just me posting videos. I haven't even told anybody I'm doing this yet, so I'm kind of like Hannah Montana, except I can't get rid of this blonde, but it's bleached, actually. But yeah. Anyways, thank you for listening, and my social media actually should be underneath this video, not starting from this video going forward. So follow me and friend me on all the things, I suppose. So yeah, see y'all next time.